The biggest ricer mod you can do to a Civic? When it comes to removing the AC, that's what I've read a lot in the forums anyway. I've already decided that I'm gonna be removing the AC in this Civic because this is my track only car, and I have my own little thoughts and stuff on the biggest ricer mod and everything that we'll talk about later in the episode. But for right now, I wanna get into the work. So now I'm not gonna be doing a full step-by-step process on this because I don't think this is how most people are gonna be starting the job. Most people are probably gonna still have the engine in the bag. And if you'll remember last week, that's what Trav and I took out, was this D15 B8 B7 long Glock thing, and that's my Z6 transmission, the SI transmission attached to it, which I will be reusing. What I want to do is just show you the different components, and then I'll obviously be taking them out. Starting with a condenser, you see the lines running down through here along the tower there. And then back into the firewall, and then there's an evaporator inside of the cabin. And then so different various little pieces, this little guy right here, these little lines, and yeah, I think in front too, there is a line, a hard line running right along here that you have to have your front bumper off for. So yeah, not a step-by-step, but I'll show you everything that I remove, and then we'll weigh it. One disclaimer I need to put out there that I'm sure all of you know by now, but you cannot just discharge this AC system into the air. It's like a Clean Air Act thing, and there's some harmful, nasty stuff in these older Civics that can be discharged. Now, you don't want like Captain Planet coming down and whooping your ass or something, or the Indian guy shedding a tear, or the bear. No, I don't think the bear's just for fire, right? Yeah, Smokey. So, so you're supposed to take it to a shop and they would go ahead and discharge this safely for you. In my case, this thing was not working ever since I've had the car, and that's been at least a year now. And then who knows how long it wasn't working before that. This thing was already discharged, there was nothing in it, so I can continue with the removal process safely. I'm gonna be starting on this condenser here. It looks like two 10 millimeters for the stays up top, and then looks like there's some stuff down here. I'm just gonna go ahead and unbolt everything, and then we'll pop that whole unit out. Okay, so in the bay, pretty cool. But so, got these bottom ones undone, the top stays are done. Here it looks like there's the wiring harness, everything connected. And so this guy's bolted up to the top of the frame here, and these electrical connections come down to the harness. Looks like I need to unbolt a couple different things on this metal part here that go to this canister. Those will need to come out, and then it looks like I'll be able to lift the whole unit out. Okay, so what I've done here is just unhook the wiring harness that's connected to the condenser fan here. So there's just a little plug that goes up in the top of here. This guy came out of there. This little wire here came out from a hook that was just dangling here. And then this whole big top thing you saw came off from the top. So that's disconnected, and that actually runs through underneath this guy here, this line. It comes out and it runs into the main harness here. So I'll figure out what to do with that in a bit. But for right now, I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect these two little lines because that's gonna come out with the fan. All right, so I got all the lines disconnected. All right, so there we go. That came out, the condenser fan, you see it there. That big line comes with it. And then we've still got this, I guess it's a return line that goes, that's the hard line that goes down through and bloop, back up into the cabin part. So we'll be disconnecting those. We'll have to remove the battery tray to get to that part. But yeah, so that hole right there is achieved. And then this guy, I want to get out of my way because he keeps hitting me. And then you pretty much just have to loosen these two up with a couple wrenches, and then this whole piece will come off, and then we'll do the same with the one going to the firewall. So what I've got going on here is a set of vice grips that I'm going to be using to put some leverage on this side, and then a 7/8, which I do not believe is the right size to use, but that's all I have right now, and it fits well to cover this side. you're gonna hold this side and push down on this side to break this nut free so that you can pull this whole piece out. All right, so this nut came free here. Just wiggle this guy out. All right, so disconnected on the floor right there, joining his friend. You see a nice bit of space here so far. So what I'm gonna do now is go ahead and remove this canister and the little drinks bottle here. I know it's the windshield wiper fluid. I'm just gonna go ahead and remove that because yeah, why in the heck is that there? I went ahead and removed the little canister here. This guy doesn't really weigh anything, like maybe 1-2 pounds. But then you got the water reservoir here. I went ahead and undid the one bolt on the top, and then there's a couple more down here. There's one, where is it? Right there, and then one right there. And then I am going to be taking that off. You just gotta undo the little harness. There it goes already. All right, so just went ahead and unplugged the little wire harness from there. And you see that line right there is actually this. And then it leads up to the little squirters for the windshield. So I'm gonna go ahead and undo those, and then I'll be able to fish all that out through the bottom. Had some dead weight water floating around in there. Now I'm gonna go ahead and undo that hard line and the one that's running in front of the car there. Just feels like I should. Everything is kind of working this way, and then we'll get our way to the firewall. Things off of that side and the front. I still have the wiring harness there, but I'll take care of that last. Now, you got this side to deal with, these two hoses running to the firewall. I need to take off this nasty battery tray. Look at that, oh my God. So I'm gonna go ahead and take that thing off if I can, if those bolts will even move. If not, I'm just gonna go ahead and undo those two connections to the firewall, and then we'll pull off these two pipes here. Looks like there's another little stay right here, another bolt. So we'll take those off, those guys will come out too. So this battery tray is definitely giving me some problems. As you can see, it's like hella rusted, and I've exposed the bolt down there. I finally got to it, but I can't turn it. So I need to figure out what to do with that. That's the last hose that I need to get rid of. The firewall, it's all exposed there right now. I just had that because I was cleaning up some gunk. All right, so the last thing I'm gonna be doing in the bay for right now is just removing this wiring harness. You can see I've already unplugged it. There was a ground that was up there. And then there's all these just like little pins, the little push through things, you know, that were stuck in there. So a couple different ones. There we go, harness. Okay, so one thing I actually wanted to ask you guys about, I know that the charcoal canister can come out. It's super easy, like it literally just lifts off a clip right there. That's not a problem. But what I wanted to ask you guys about is, what about these other lines? It's like this guy right here, it turns into one of these hard lines, like this line right here, and then it goes down into there and then under the car. And then there's another line that comes out the bottom here that goes through the bottom, and it looks like it goes under the car. I've heard that something that's to do with the fuel tank, like a relief kind of thing, but I'm not sure what this other stuff is. So if any of y'all want to comment and let me know, what do I need to do to take all these lines off? So another big component I want to get to put in the bucket is the compressor here, or whatever it's called. I'm gonna be taking the pulley, the whole bracket, and everything off of it. So that's the compressor off, and then I'm gonna go ahead and count the bracket as weight too, because obviously I'm not gonna be putting that back on the Z6. And that's a little bit of weight between those two. So what I'm gonna be doing is putting everything in this bucket, and then we'll weigh it. This bucket obviously is a bucket. It doesn't weigh really anything. So okay, so day 2, ran out of time yesterday. We're gonna start messing with the interior, and then we're gonna go ahead and weigh everything that we took out yesterday and what we take out today. Another reason I say this isn't a step-by-step, because I already had my glove box off, but this would be something that you would want to do if you're going to complete everything with the AC removal. So this is like an evaporator system inside of the cabin, and then here's like the little motor that's gonna, you know, spin and push all the air out. So we can take care of this wiring harness, move it out of the way, and then these pieces can come out and we can add that to our weight collection. Okay, so we're gonna be working with the evaporator here and then the motor. We're gonna go ahead and pull this wire harness off. See, it's just a couple little clips right there, connection. And then we can just go ahead and take this thing off. See a bolt there. There's some bolts under here. I think there's one under there. There's something up, something up here. So yeah, so it should be pretty easy to take off. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. You see I've already got the drain plug out of the way, and that's where Juan and I ran the map sensor through already. So let's go ahead and get this guy out of the way. A hole there. Took the evaporator out. I'm actually gonna leave this stuff in here just for right now. I wanna look into this a bit more because I don't want this wiring harness here just dangling. I'm gonna figure out what to do with those, and then I'll likely be removing these pieces as well. Like I said, I just wanna make sure that that's gonna be safe. Like I wanted to clean up this wiring harness. I don't want it just hanging everywhere. So if you have any ideas on that, please let me know. It's the evaporator core. That actually weighs a little bit. So right now we're gonna go ahead and take that bucket of everything and go start weigh stuff. All right, so here's everything that came out of the car. I'm gonna weigh this bucket first, and then we'll go ahead and weigh each thing separately, and then we'll tally it all up. First bucket, 29.5 pounds. That's with the compressor, the mount, and then all the lines and the water bottle that came out of the bay. So 29.5 pounds there. Okay, we got this stuff here. Just put this little sheet over it just so I don't mess up my scale. And there you go, 17.4 pounds for the fan and then the evaporator from the interior. All right, you guys, so that brings us to a total of 46.9 pounds. 47 pounds essentially by my math. And so that brings me to the point that I was talking about at the beginning of the video, about this being the biggest ricer mod or whatever, you know, is it worth it kind of thing. And I feel that in my situation, yes, it is worth it because this is my track only car. I am not dailying this. I don't need to be comfortable in a sitting in traffic environment. You know, I'm out ripping on it. But so 47 pounds essentially came out of this. Is it worth it? For your daily, probably not. I would absolutely take AC over 47 pounds less, like in my EK, for example. I would totally take AC in that anytime. But again, in this car, it's worth it to me. And 46 pounds by itself really isn't much, but 46 pounds here, 47 pounds here, plus the nearly 50 that I took out of the interior, we're almost to 100 pounds there. Let's say I get a lightweight battery, there's another 20 some pounds. What about maybe messing with the hatch? You can take some of the guts out of that. You know, so what I'm getting at is that it's worth it because it keeps compounding onto itself. The more I take out of this car, the more I get lightweight parts in place of their stock counterparts, the less weight is going to be in this car. And for me, that's what it's all about. You know, I'm running the D16 Z6 coming up. It's not the most powerful engine in the world, but even if I got a B18, that's still not the most powerful. You know, the benefit of these older Civics is that they're light. In this car, the CX from the factory was 2,100 pounds. So essentially with everything I've taken out of it, it's 2,000 pound car now, without me in it, of course. So that's really good. You know, that's just going to help for my purpose with the track racing. But so if your car is a daily, you know, I wouldn't take the AC out, but hey, that's totally up to you, man. So I still do need to find a way to get that battery tray off. I have to get that one more lined out. That's probably that 0.1 pound right there. That's gonna put that to 47. So that's still gotta come out. But really what I'm gonna be tackling next is cleaning up this bay. What I plan on doing is kind of just removing these wiring harnesses going to the headlights on either side. I'll move this clutch line out of the way, just get it as bare as possible up in the front here. And then I'm gonna go ahead and clean this up with some purple power and scrub it down, and then probably be shooting it frost white, just out of a rattle can, you know, that you can get at any of the auto parts stores. So yeah, cleaning up the bay is going to be next. We are moving along, guys. Thank you so much for sticking with me.